Hello, everybody. It is once again that time of the year.
Wait. It's too dark. 1 second.
It's too dark.
Okay, 1 second. Let me fix it.
All right.
All right, we're good. You can start the movie now.
Oh.
Don't turn it off. You need it on. Why did you turn it off?
Oh, I thought I had to click it. Never
I can
mind.
do the intro.
All right. It's time for the annual Thanksgiving holiday, because we're past Thanksgiving special. Ghostbusting.
Yeah, we're really late this year.
Yeah, this year's pretty late. It's like we only got a couple more holiday weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, that's just life. That's the way it is. You know, sometimes you're early, sometimes you're late, sometimes you arrive precisely when you mean to.
I don't even know what happened with November. It just disappeared.
It really did. It was crazy.
I think we skipped it. Do you remember November at all? Because I don't know anybody that remembers that month this year.
I remember Thanksgiving.
Oh, so it did happen.
Yeah, but that's about all I remember from November.
Oh shit, we lost the light. Hold on.
Ah, jeez.
I got the replacement light.
All right, very good, very good.
This one's sexier.
There you go. I actually, on this character, I'm an engineer, and I'm trying to craft the weather changer thing.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, I have a...
So you could have changed this weather?
Yeah, so right now, well, I can't, I gotta get the stuff for it, because I don't have it yet, but it's called a centralized precipitation emitter. And you place it down, and for up to 2 hours, it allows you to experience the fury of nature by choice for you and your party or raid.
Wait, so did somebody do that to this zone? Because it's got red lightning.
I don't think so, because it says only members of your party or raid can see the machine and its effects. It's like this is natural.
Okay.
But
okay.
It's still pretty neat. And then they also have an environmental emulator, which does a similar thing, except it allows you to view the world from a different perspective. I don't know if that just shrinks you or makes you big, but it does something. I love the goofy engineering things.
All right. You didn't do the intro, by the way.
We did do the intro.
You didn't introduce me, but I don't even know who I am?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you haven't been around here for years, this is Rawb / Rurikar / Old Man Willikers / there's probably something else.
I am Crendor's old guild leader, and I come by once a year to talk about how I don't play WoW. Only this year, I started playing WoW again. They got me.
They got you.
Who's this new dragon flying thing?
Yeah, new dragon flying.
I can't hop on.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Look at
that! Can you
that!
believe that they added this new dragon flying thing? So what you got to do is you got to use these orbs.
Yeah.
Oh shit! This is the wrong dragon mount. This one doesn't work for that.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, now we're fitting for the
but I'm overpowered. I resurrected. Oh shit! I gotta jump again.
Oh yeah, you gotta jump again.
Didn't work.
Also, we get to ride on dragons when we're dead.
Wait, what?
Yeah, look at that.
Should we turn on like walk then and do our dragon death walk?
Yeah, I'll do a dragon death walk.
Oh man, you get to add dragon to this year's video title.
Hell yeah, finally.
Ghostbusters Dragon Walk. I don't know what these things are called.
I mean, I never really remember what they're called either, but it's besides the point.
Do we know what year we're on yet?
God, no. 10, 11, 9?
You know, I think we're in double digits. I feel like we did episode 9 2 years in a row or something.
I think we did too. Yeah, because I mean, I started doing YouTube almost 14 years ago, and I knew you prior to that.
Yeah.
So, I think only a year before that or something. I don't even remember. But like, but yeah, then we started this like a few years after I started YouTube, so that would make sense, like 10 or 11.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. How's your YouTube and stuff going, speaking of which?
Good. This year I started doing my old cartoon again. I used to do a animated cartoon called Unforgotten Realms.
Oh yeah.
And I had this meme idea of changing the character's dynamic and doing it backwards. So I started doing the show again.
Like doing it
Done
backwards.
like 4 episodes so far. Yeah, so I'm having it so the character that one of the characters would usually mess with the other guy, and now I have that dynamic reverted. So then it's like,
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like the same, but not the same.
Yeah. What made you want to do that?
Mostly because I could, really. Honestly, because I was just like looking at all the stuff to do, and like I've done so many like fun Let's Plays and videos like that, but I really like animation, and I have a lot of supporters that just like supporting my content, so I'm very fortunate. And so since I kind of have a choice in what I get to do, I kind of started deciding, well, I'll do this cartoon, and everyone was very receptive of it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun when your old cartoon comes back a decade later, you know.
Yeah.
And Flash cartoons, dude, those don't even exist anymore. So there's like this weird nicheness of it,
Yeah.
of like doing a Flash cartoon in 2022.
It actually is wild. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
not Flash, but it looks like Flash because it's of that era, right?
Yeah. That was... I don't know if I found you through those or if I found your WoW videos and then found Unforgotten Realms, but I remember watching those way back when. Way back.
Oh man, the internet was so different back then.
It really was. Like, man, it was... There was forums. There was Ventrilo.
Ventrilo. You
Wrath
use that
of
for a
the Lich
while.
King. Flash, Newgrounds. So yeah, actually YouTube was like the thing for cat videos, like old people dancing to funny songs, like just like weird family home videos, and then like a couple daily vloggers that were just vlogging.
Well, yeah, it used to be like
Crazy.
really limited at beginning, almost like TikTok in a way. Like people could only have what, like 5-minute or 15-minute videos, like for the
Oh
longest
yeah,
time.
I think 10, 15.
Yeah.
Man, that is... It's crazy to think back all those years ago, because it was like...
We're
They're
dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah, I changed my Twitch description to prehistoric content creator.
Yeah. That's
And-
why I'm going back to do old nostalgic things, because I'm like, damn, I'm so old that now I can do the things I did 15 years ago, and it's like vintage content. What?
Yeah. I mean, this series in itself is kind of vintage at this point. Like, I thought about remaking my old like WoW videos from back in the day. And I'll probably remake one, but I need to like feel inspired to do it. I haven't really felt the inspiration.
Yeah, I felt the inspiration. That's why I was doing it. Like, I know one of the things I've been working on so we could do it in the new year is I used to do Dwarfs versus Zombies, which was just this giant Minecraft community game where you take 100 people and they build a castle, and then half of them die to a plague and come back as zombies, and then you just try to survive. And if you die, then you're a zombie. So the game always ends with everybody dying. So it has this weird PvE, PvP feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to start doing those again in January, because I don't know. It's you know what? It's interesting is all the people that I used to make content for have all grown up and become adults, and so it's a completely different vibe to make content. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's no longer I'm making content for exciting children. It's like I'm making content for like casual adults that are like, yeah, give me that dopamine of my nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it's like nicer to make stuff for people now. Like
Yeah.
everyone's so kind and courteous, and you know, nobody's sitting there being like, why is it like this when it could be like this? Because we're just like kids and picking apart everything, you know.
Yeah. No, I already said, like, if I could go back in time, like, listening to my 23-year-old self, like, I would punch myself. Like,
Oh
straight
yeah,
up.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, just the things you go through in life and all those things are, like, what matures you. Because, I mean, I think when you're younger, you view it as, like, oh, you get older, and that's what makes you, like, wiser the way you are. But really, it's, like, the experiences you have as you get
Yeah.
older, which is, you know, I mean, things like, you know, health and people passing away and, like, you know, having work struggles and, you know, people going in and out of your life. Like, so many different things help make you who you are, and you kind of learn along the way.
Oh, dude, understanding like your traumas and the different things that like affect your brain and stuff, like just as you're getting older, that for the longest time you just don't even really think about. It's just like background noise, and then you become more self-aware of how you are, and then everything in life suddenly makes more sense. It's very lovely to get to that part of life as you grow up.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I like being older. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to get old, but like, yeah, I've enjoyed it. The only parts I don't enjoy is the health issues that come with it, but you know, it's just part of it.
Yeah, I've been working out a lot more, eating differently. I think we should turn left here.
Yeah, we should go
try
left.
To make our way to Azure, right?
Yeah.
Off the beaded trail.
Yeah, I've been going to the gym at this point for like 4 years, and I've loved it.
Yeah, you would always talk about that too.
It's just
I've just been doing it because I just knew I was lazy. Right? Like I was just like everyone would tell me go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. Finally, I started doing it. I'm like, oh, I should have been going to the gym this whole time.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It's just like once you do it and you get in that habit, you're just like, this is great. Like, why did I take so long to do this?
Yeah, it's like in school you'd have that recreational class, and once you don't go to school, you're just like, you don't need to do that class anymore, but you do. You need to find that time to do your rec time. You can't skip it.
And the best part about it isn't even just like getting physically healthier, but it helps your mental health as well. Which is nice.
Yeah. I found it fantastic that sometimes I'll try to end my streams about an hour earlier just so I can go to the gym, because it is like the great way to end a stream usually.
Yeah.
You know, because and anything with streaming or performing can be kind of like wild because you get all hyped and pumped and you're in front of an audience, and the second you turn it off, it's like everything disappears and it's quiet. And so sometimes like I can just go from like really hyped and excited to, oh my god, I'm exhausted. And if you do that constantly, just like week to week to week, you're just ending your work days completely exhausted. You know, you can start to feel like really down. You can start to just like your body is feeling down, so you feel down, right? It's like being a sim. Your bars are empty, so you're like, oh, I feel sad.
Yeah.
But man, you add exercise into that mix, because like usually the tiredness isn't just, you know, from physical stuff at the stream. It's mostly just, you know, mental.
Yeah.
So you go exercise your body. Oh, so good on the brain.
Yeah. No, it really is. And I mean, that's a good way with streaming to put it. Like, you turn on, and then when it turns off, it's like, it's a weird feeling. 'Cause it's like you were just doing all that, and you either feel, like, drained, or you feel like you gotta, you know, kind of empty out the rest of the energy you got, or weird. Because I know I had somebody even come into my stream, and they were like, Crendor, you're always, like, so full of energy. And everything. I'm like, I don't sit here off stream and go, like, wow, I love World of Warcraft. I'm gonna fly over here. And I'm just like, I would sit there like, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. The energy is like summoned, and at this point, like I'm sure you probably can do it too. It's like we just summon it, right? Yeah. Like, you ever been in a situation where you've been forced to go into like Crendor streamer mode? Like maybe you're somewhere, and just something happens, and now all of a sudden you're like, boom, at 100%, 10 out of 10, turned on. Yeah,
especially like, because I used to be very socially awkward, but now I think from streaming and from like being at conventions, doing everything, like I very easily can just talk to anybody, and doing like my interview show, like the Fishing with Crendors. So like I'll talk to like, you know, boomer people, or, you know, people just randomly at the gym will start talking. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Like you can flip that switch, but it's, you know, that's what it is. It's like I flip the switch, and then as soon as I flip it off, I'm just like,
Yes. For me, it feels like being like an anime character like Goku, and you go Super Saiyan to communicate with humans. And then everyone just like, people I talk to, they seem to have a great time. They'll be like, oh, Rob, you're so full of life and energy. And I'm just sitting there, I'm going like, yes, I turned on the life energy mode, like I'm a robot or something. Because the second they exit the room, I'm like, all right, back to nothing. Relaxed. Don't need to communicate again.
Yeah. No, there's been plenty of times even I'm just like, God, I don't want to stream today. Like, I just don't feel good. My stomach hurts. This thing hurt. Like, I'm not in a good mental thing. I'm just like, you know what? Whatever I'm doing. I'm just like, what's up, everybody? Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because some people will be like, "Oh, don't do that," but it's like, but it's your job, guys. We got it.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad to just you know, make yourself go into happy mode. It's actually quite amazing to be able to make yourself go into happy mode. I've used that outside of streaming sometimes to just be like, I don't want to be sad. I'm gonna just be my streamer self. Boom. It's a very weird thing.
It is. And I think most people, if not everybody, has the potential to do it. It's just a matter of kind of learning how to do it, which is another weird thing, but like you really do have to like learn how to do it.
I think it's hard. I don't know. It's, you say everybody, but you really require an audience.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is a certain point where like the audience really starts to shape you, right? Because if you just go stream to a group of 5 friends you're comfortable with, that's different compared to when you're streaming to people and you don't necessarily recognize everyone in chat that's all talking.
Yeah.
It puts you in that I'm in public. And anyone could be watching space, right? Anyone in the world could suddenly be watching you, and that's when you start to act differently. And the more you do that, the more you start to build like a second persona. Like I hear a lot of people will talk about streamers, and they'll say, "Oh, I love so and so," because they're so themselves, they're so real, and it's like they are, but also. Almost every streamer, I don't want to just blanket statement this, but a lot of streamers, most of them are, kind of making this character version of themselves, just like any of us would mask in public, right? Like the way you would talk to your friends is not necessarily the same as the way you would talk in a classroom full of people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very true. And some people do it more than others. But, some people, like, for example, there's Crip. Crip is kind of just himself. But that's just who he always is. But even then, he might, even when people look at Crip and go like, oh, he's being himself, he's just sitting there like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, he still is probably doing more than he would if he wasn't streaming.
Yeah.
So
because, like, you
levels.
wouldn't go out and be sad or depressed on stream. Some people might, but, I mean, most streamers would not go and do that. And so they're always putting on a little bit of a show,
Yeah. Because, I mean, nobody wants to sit there and watch somebody just be like, okay. Yeah. Right? Unless, like, you know who it is, and you're like, oh, they're doing a goof. But, like, most people aren't going to tune into some guy with, like, 7 viewers and be like, oh, wow, this is something I'm going to keep watching.
Well, I wouldn't want to watch a stream that drains me. I don't want to watch a stream and someone's really down and like it's just like draining me emotionally, that I'm unprepared for. Usually when I'm watching a stream or anyone live, I'm looking for a boost of energy or excitement or entertainment or something,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. 'Cause, I mean, you could have somebody that's high energy, but they're just like complaining about everything. They're negative, like, yeah, this sucks. This thing's dumb. Yeah, and it just brings you down.
That used to be me with Pokemon content. I used to do Pokemon
really?
content, and like anytime I was doing the battle stuff, good content. But then there'd be like 25 minutes of grinding, and it would just be me sitting there and be like, Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing with Mewtwo. They've ruined the franchise. 25-minute rant about Mewtwo or something.
Speaking of it, I actually played a lot of Pokemon this year.
Really? The new one that just came out?
Well, I played that for a little bit, and then I stopped because I just didn't really like it. But like it wasn't bad. Well, it was kind of bad. Like the FPS and the gameplay and all that. And like I'm not a big story Pokemon person. Like I just wish I could skip the story and just play Pokemon, But I played a lot of Kaizo Ironmon. I don't know if you know what that is.
Kaizo Ironmon. That sounds like hardcore Pokemon die they die Pokemon. Is that what that is?
Yes. So imagine, so it's Pokemon Fire Red. And you play it on your, legal Game Boy, of course. And you, when you start, you get to pick the 3 Pokeballs, and each one is a randomized, everything Pokemon. So you could get, like, Charmander with, but it's all based on their stats. So obviously you want to get a high stat Pokemon so they have better stats or potential for better stats. And it's all randomized. Everything, like, the moves are random. The only thing that isn't randomized is the type of Pokemon. And so you have to fight a level 8 rival Pokemon with your level 5 in the lab. And if that dies, you die. And once you get out of the lab,
That's RNG.
Yeah, oh, I love it. It's slot machine Pokemon all the way. And then you can pretty much only pivot like a couple times, because once you start fighting the forest trainers, you have like committed, because the amount of experience you need to beat the game is like you can't pivot at that point. So you have to find a Pokemon like in Route 1 in like one of the 5 patches of grass. And you can't fight Pokemon. You can only fight trainers. The only heals you can use you pick up off the ground. Healing moves are banned, so you can't have like Life Drain or Giga Drain or anything. And
jeez.
The only thing you can buy at the store is Pokeballs and Repels, and that's it. So I have.
Why would you buy Repels if there's no wild Pokemon?
You buy Repels if you go into like caves, and you don't.
So there are wild Pokemon. They just don't give XP.
You just can't fight them. You're not allowed to. So you
then why would you buy a Repel?
So you don't have to keep running into them.
Oh, you can't fight them, but they still aggro you?
Correct.
Why?
Well, you can catch them still.
Oh, because you can catch them. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the first route, you can still catch them. So a lot of times.
So it's like the safari almost.
A little bit, yeah. So like sometimes you'll be like, oh shit, I got a Charizard, and he has like 5 speed, and you're like, no, God no.
Oh god.
So it's just the best Pokemon I had was Karate Blastoise. He had like an insane attack stat. He was just good at everything. He had all like fighting moves, and he got to the Elite Four Lance, and he died to Steelix Thunderbolt, and it was a very sad time. But when you make it that far, it's great. But I have like 2,000 runs in that. Like it's a problem. So that was like half my streaming this year.
Oh man. Yeah, I played a lot of Pokemon Nuzlocke where like Pokemon die and hardcore rules.
Mm-hmm.
This year I started doing a Pokemon run, and it is like way more casual. When Pokemon die, I just do a D20 and a 1 kills them.
That's pretty fun.
But I have a rule for my chat that if it is the dice roll is a 1 to 5, then we do a raffle, and someone in chat is allowed to change one thing about that Pokemon, including steal their name. So we called it a stole stealing run, so people could steal like people's Pokemon after they failed and died. But they're allowed to change anything, so they can change the type or a move or an ability. So sometimes people were making like overpowered Pokemon to play, and then they would just fail once, and then people would be like, "And you're a Dunsparce." So it's a very like up and down run of high highs and low lows.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds great. That's like, what version do you do it with?
I did Blaze Black. So it's a hacked version of Pokemon Black, but much more difficult. And it does thing like make all the gym leader battles, rotation battles, or double battles. So in Nuzlocke, they're a lot more threatening. I know there's eventually gym leaders with triple battles, and those are just very hard to not lose people on your team, because one person's going to get attacked by 3 different dudes on the first turn.
And it is. Pokemon just has so much like ability to like customize it and make it fun in your own way, really.
Oh yeah, that's like, it's hard for me to even want to play the new 3D games because their target audience is kids.
Yep.
They're not really that difficult. There's nothing new about them because I'm still catching Pikachu and Charmander. You know, like I enjoyed the back in time. Was it Pokemon Arceus? And it was like you go back. Yeah, I liked that because it had like Pokemon Go mechanics. You could walk around and just catch Pokemon. It was fun. You didn't really even do that much battling.
Yeah. No, I actually liked when they did what was the one where you walked around and caught Pokemon like Pokemon Go, but it was like Pokemon. Oh,
Let's Go Pikachu or something?
Yeah, they did that. Yeah. I like that.
I love that one too. Yeah.
I wanted them to do that, but like with silver and gold. But they haven't done it yet. But I'm still holding out hope.
That's kind of surprising because that seems like it's almost an easy format to get like another easy game. You know,
it's just a remake, essentially.
Yeah. And it really wasn't that deep of a game either, but it was very simple. I played through the whole thing with my sister actually because I had like a co-op mode and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is funny. You could like 2v1 in that game.
Oh yeah. It is. That was the one where you could find the shinies out in the wild. Well, I mean, you could find shinies, but you would like see the shiny.
You'd see it, yeah.
I remember I saw one and I went to go touch it, and then it just vanished as I got to it, and I was like, "What?" Great time.
Speaking of video games, World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. That's right. There we go. We got 25 minutes in before we got to the World of Warcraft.
Because, you know, people probably want to talk about a little bit about World of Warcraft.
Yeah, a little bit. So
this is the first year we can actually talk about it because I'm actually playing it.
I know. When's the last one you played?
I dabbled in Legion. I think I leveled up in Legion, 1 or 2 characters. And then I did Cataclysm. I was raiding.
Oh,
that was probably the last expansion I raided in. Panda made me go, nah.
I like the aesthetic of Pandaria, but like, I didn't really get into it back then.
Yeah. I played Shadowlands, but only like the last few months of Shadowlands because I was kind of getting back into the game to play this. So
yeah, like pre-patch stuff and everything. Or like
yeah, a little bit before that because some friends wanted to play and I leveled up and stuff. But like, I looked at that Shadowlands content and I was like, I'm not doing this. This is
it was bad. Yeah. It was probably one of the worst expansions I think ever, to be honest.
It looks cool, some of it. I think I enjoyed the difficulty of just dungeons and stuff playing with friends. I was like, oh, okay, you know, they got the balance is kind of there, but like the actual zones and quests and legendaries and stuff, like I felt lost. Like it felt like the only way to play that expansion was with a guide.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know you've gone off the rails, is if like people need to literally use Wowhead or MMO Champion to play your game, you know?
Yeah.
That should be an efficiency thing we use to be like, oh, I want to do this faster than how Blizzard wants it. It shouldn't be you need to look up a guide to do it.
No, it is bad. I mean, one of the things I really hated was Oribos. I think it was probably the worst hub city they've ever created. Like, it just felt like a really bad airport is what I kept saying.
Yes, an airport. Yes, an airport. Yeah.
But like, even going to airports, I've enjoyed airports more than Oribos. You know what I mean? Like, at least they've got like, you know, gift shops and things you go. This was like, okay, I'm in Oribos. First off, if you want to like go to the portals, you have to run all the way across and you might fall through a random hole that's there. I don't even know why there's a hole there, and you just die and got to run all the way back. Then you have the inner circle, which for some reason demounts you. Like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, oh, this is where you have to go. Like, just make it so maybe they didn't want it to get crowded, but like just make it so you demount near the NPCs or something, like the prevalent ones. I don't know. And it just felt big and empty. And anytime you wanted to go to a different zone, you just had to take the airport to go to the zone. It's like, oh no, I wanted to go to the other zone. You got to go back to the airport and then go back to the. It's like, oh my god, I hated it.
Yeah, not being able to get to the zones without a flight thing just felt wrong, and everything felt disconnected.
Yeah, and it had that same feeling in Cataclysm actually, but you could still technically get to the zones from flying. It would just take a while, but like. It really disconnects you from the game, which is why this is the complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, this one feels very, very back to basics. Yeah. Like, they have their fun new mechanic, and it's dragon flying, and everyone loves it, but to be perfectly honest, I think it's kind of mid. It's kind of just mediocre. Like, I enjoy it, but the fact that you have to get all the glyphs before it's even kind of really enjoyable is really obnoxious. Like, I think everyone in this expansion at some point will have that experience where they have to sit and wait for 2 minutes to get enough dragon nodes to continue on playing the game. And that's really funny because that's like very traditional MMO, sitting to drink water for 2 minutes to continue playing the game.
Yeah.
So they brought that mechanic back and put it on dragons. Like, it makes my dragon feel fucking like 0 stamina, you know?
Yeah. Like, I almost feel like the maxed out versions is how they should start. Yeah, and then collecting the glyphs, you had like cool fun stuff you can do, like, oh, crazy barrel rolls and like warp speed or like, you know, something wild.
Yeah, that's the worst part about that glyph tree is most of it is just passives that just makes the dragon usable.
Yeah.
It's not even like when I saw the tree, I was like, oh, we're going to get a bunch of cool stuff for our dragon. It's like, nah, you're going to get a spin move and this teleport thing you'll never use probably.
Yeah, like, and then you never open it again. And every time you open the thing, it's like, check out the skill tree. And I'm like, I already did. Like, it's maxed out. Like, I don't
Oh
need
my
this
god,
here.
the tutorials? Like, I feel like whenever I'm playing this game, there's a box somewhere that's like, hey, did you know you got a skill point for this thing? Go spend it constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But I will say the new talent trees have felt phenomenal because it's pretty much like the old ones, but modernized, which is really all I ever wanted.
The new talent trees are better than even old ones, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah,
like
100%.
they provide so much minor micro choice. Like I don't think I'm seeing people with identical builds ever now.
Yeah.
You know, and there might be for DPS class, there might be like specific perfect builds, but I don't know. There's a lot of like splash right now, and there's no clear like this is what you have to do for most classes. You know, there's stuff, there's obviously mandatory stuff, but there's a lot of stuff where it's like, you could get this, but some people get this. And I like that, you know?
Yeah, no, I like that too. And I felt like that's how talent trees always should have been. And I think that's why, like, having so many different choices, I think having the spec tree and then having the class tree is also a really cool idea.
They are overwhelming though, and so
Yeah.
like I leveled up a new character after the trees came out, and it was a fantastic experience to be leveling up and getting points because you could respec whenever you wanted. So you'd level up and you'd be like, oh, now that I got 1 point, I'm going to drop this thing because I don't really like it, and I'm going to try this. And so you really learn your tree. Whereas if you just come back to this game right now for Dragonflight, you're going to be like, no, you're going to be reading for 2 hours.
Yeah, that is
You sit
true
there and you
too.
just read abilities for 2 hours and then do math and pull out your calculator.
Yeah, which some people love. So,
I loved when I was younger, truly, but at this point, I'm just like, people are waiting for me.
yeah,
They want me to heal in the dungeon. I gotta go.
yeah. But I think the reason I love this expansion so much is because it feels like a old World of Warcraft exploration style
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
you know, because that's how it felt in vanilla. I was like, wow, I get to explore this new world and these lands and everything, and it feels like it has that same magic again.
Yeah. They've captured a lot of the old stuff, and the thing is, the nice thing with the Dragon is they do make questing and stuff faster.
Yeah.
Faster than it's ever been before. Like once you really got your Dragon, you'll just be like, do quest, get on Dragon, fly in the air, dive bomb down here, do quest, fly in the air, dive bomb down here. You just like do quests so fast on your Dragon once you kind of have a hang of how it works, and that's really neat.
Yeah, I actually used to be one of the people in, I don't even know, after Wrath or whatever, where I would be like, oh, we need to make it so you have to use ground mounts to level so you can actually explore the world. And then after leveling in Wrath again, I was like, never mind, like flying's actually fantastic for level.
Yeah.
Like flying is just like really, especially in this type of thing where like the zones are so massive and you can go so fast. Like it feels really fun to just level. Like I've just leveled alternate character. Like I level my alts because I give them rest XP and then I just fly around and do some shit and I'm like, all right, that's good for today. And then I just log back on my main. So it's very alt friendly. Plus, like you have if you hit rank 10 or whatever with your reputation, like the Tuskar or whatever, then your other characters earn 100% bonus with it, which is fantastic.
And if you complete the main storyline, your other characters just start with their dragons and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I think Shadowlands was so complete the opposite that they just were like, yeah, this is bad, so they just did the opposite. Because I mean, Shadowlands was so bleh.
Here was my experience with Shadowlands. I hit level 51. Is that what it was? Yeah, 51.
Yeah.
And then from 51 to 60, I'm doing dungeons with friends. Well, I don't have any of the dungeons unlocked, so I'm only doing the very first dungeon in Shadowlands from 61 to 70. Because the way Blizzard made it was unless you did the quest, you didn't get the other dungeons unlocked. That is... that's something that's so dumb that they learned not to do that 10 years ago. And it tells me that like the people who are making choices just must not have been there, because like that was a very obvious like, how are you going to make this mistake again? You know?
Yeah,
it's still kind of weird. This game has so much content, but if you want to go level up in a dungeon right now, you're going to do the same dinosaur dungeon like 15,000 times. It's like, why?
yeah.
Send me to Dead Mines again. What's going on, guys?
Well, that's actually what they've started doing with what do you call it, Mythics, where now
Yes, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, actually, that's a cool idea because they're just doing like Mythic Plus. But there's like the Jade Temple and there's the old WoD one. Like they're actually bringing those back, which is cool because otherwise it's like they just kind of sit in history, just waiting to get pet or mount farmed essentially.
Is it the old gear, or is it just they have gear that's in the Mythic thing that they just kind of pump out through any dungeon?
I actually don't know.
I don't know how that works. Yeah.
I think it is new gear. I'm pretty sure it's new gear because otherwise I feel like people would probably complain. But it is really cool. It really does feel like when you go through the world and everything, like they had fun making it. Like you see all these little interactions, like the animals interacting with each other and like the world interacting and like all the storylines. Like it just feels like they had fun. And it doesn't feel like
so
that
many
in some of the
talented
other
people, that work at this company because it's the art. I found some of the quest stories to be good. I don't actually read the quest stories. I want to say this, okay? I mostly skip most of the cutscenes as well.
Yep.
Not really interested, but it's hard not to notice some of the stories going on. Sometimes, like it's like what you're doing makes it so you have to pay a little bit of attention to the story. And I just kept bumping into a few stories. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. Oh, that's funny. There's this one little walrus kid. I'm pretty sure that's the next chieftain of the Horde. Okay, give it 10 expansions. When he grows up, he's the next chieftain. Okay, it's coming.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing I really enjoyed is like in the last couple expansions, it's like we're going to space, we're fighting demons, we're fighting like you're killing the greatest power in the world, and then you do it, and they're like, you thought that was the greatest power in the world? Well, get ready, this guy's even greater than that guy, and you're like, oh, okay. And you beat him, and it's like, you thought I was the worst? Well, then it's like, you can only do that so many times. Right?
But then, Crendor, guess what? All that stuff didn't matter because it was all part of the jailer's master plan. He was controlling everyone. Every character was being controlled by the jailer. Okay? Every story that's ever happened in World of Warcraft, the jailer made it happen.
It's terrible.
Let's pretend Shadowlands didn't exist. It was a dream or something.
Yeah, it was a dream. It was... God.
That's why it's called Shadowlands. It's just a shadow of a story.
And I think that's another thing kind of ties back into like the classic WoW. Because back in classic WoW, like obviously the grind and all that, it was like old school. But like the story was fun because all you did was just little side quests. And you were like, oh, I got to go help these people in the zone. And I got to go... Mancrick and his wife with like the all that stuff, like all these little stories that you would find in the zone. It kind of feels that same way in this expansion where it's like, oh yeah, there's a little story over here, and like there's like a main quest story for the zone, but there's like so many other little things, and it feels much more almost like RPG-ish, like how if you would play D&D, you have little like side characters, you have the main stuff, but you still go off on your little thing. And I feel like the last couple expansions, it was just not a lot of that.
I felt there was a lot of choice in what you could do with your activity and leveling up, especially once you got your dragon. I mostly just stuck to the quests because I was just like, it's fine. Let's see what they want to serve up to me. But there's very quickly it starts to be like little side activities and things to explore and kind of do. Like there's so many optional like bosses that like always drop loot and shit.
Yeah.
Like I found so many optional bosses that you could fight that would be a little bit difficult to fight for some people solo. But like if you bothered to do it, you'll get an upgrade right away. Like that was very cool.
Yeah.
What did you think about right now the number of abilities in the game? Because at this point, playing a holy priest, they've overdone it with the amount of abilities.
Yeah.
Like I've seen my friend who plays what are the demon hunters?
Yeah.
The demon hunters got like 6 abilities on their hotbar, and they're just like, that's it. It's all I need. Like as a priest, man, I'm up to a lot.
Yeah, I think it really is class dependent. I mean, and really spec dependent. I think like when I was playing my warlock Affliction, I was like, this is pretty fun, you're managing your dots, you're doing whatever. And then I went Demonology, and it was like the same amount of abilities, but it just felt more fun, because I'm like, oh, this summons an imp, this summons a guy, this summons a fell lord, this summon, like I got all this shit coming out and fighting for me, so it just feels, I don't know, even though I'm managing the same amount of stuff, it just feels more fun to me. But then, like on Warrior, I'm just like ground smash, mortal strike, execute, 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 execute. I'm like, okay, next charge. Like, so yeah, I think it really is class dependent, but or even Rogue, like I was playing Outlaw Rogue, and it was just like you keep combo point, then you like shoot your gun 5 times, and you like it was like too much for me. I was like, I don't think I can play this. I can't APM.
Yeah. People said that Shadow Priest, I haven't tried it out, and Arcane Mage, just like trying to do the rotation is absurdly complicated at this point. But I understand, like, as a Holy Priest, man, I think I have 20 different healing abilities that I'm actively using in a dungeon. And that doesn't count DPS and crowd control and other CC stuff.
Yeah. No,
like, it's Circle of Life, Power Word Life, Holy Word Sanctify, Holy Nova, Heal, Flash Heal, Prayer of Healing, Holy Word Salvation, Prayer of Mending, Renew, Holy Word Serenity. Like, it's on and on and on. Guardian Spirit, Power Infusion.
Yeah, it is a lot. I think I was trying to, because I know Druid, I'm leveling my Druid right now because I wanted to have a Resto Druid, and I don't think it's as complicated. I played Resto Druid in Wrath Classic, so I was like, oh, I'll play Druid in this, but I kind of want to see the differences, because I know Boomkin had that, where they have a lot more shit now, because I tried playing Boomkin. I was like, oh, I loved it in Wrath Classic. I'm going to play Boomkin, and it's like solar and lunar power and all this stuff, and I was like, I kind of just like the Wrath version, where I just had like 5 buttons to press.
Yeah, I guess I'm just very simple, because I really liked the simple class. Because the problem is, when it's super complicated, I'm not really focused on the dungeon so much. I'm just focused on bars and things. The only time I'll focus on the dungeon is if it focuses, there's a mechanic that requires me to be focused. And so that means, like, from a player point of view, I'm not looking at the dungeon, I'm looking at bars a lot of the time, and DPS meters and shit. Whereas I remember back in the day, like, when Mage was effectively, just spam Fireball, nothing else, that's the only thing you do. It's like, the only thing you do is just spam Fireball. All you would do is pay attention and think about the group and talk to the group, because there was nothing to do, you know? I know that people really like the rotation thing so that they can differentiate themselves, like, oh, I'm so good because I did my rotation. I totally get that. I just think we may have gone with too many buttons at this point.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels like some classes have too many buttons to do, like, the same thing that somebody else does with less buttons.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's... Because, I mean, yeah, if somebody's got a simpler thing and they're, like, doing a boss fight or something, too, and it's like, you gotta move out of the thing and dodge the thing, go over here, and then you're just like, hold on, and you're like, got, like, your playbook of shit you're trying to do versus somebody who's got, like, 3 plays. You know, it's gonna be more difficult.
I think there is a way they can fix it, because we already seen the tech for it. They have those talents where you pick one or the other abilities. I really think they need to do more of that with some of these classes, and then to balance it, just, you know, buff their numbers in other ways, because you're removing a tool or something.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think that would be a good idea. Plus, it adds more, you know, customizability, which is always a good thing.
Some players would hate it because they'd be losing their buttons, but man, I'd be scared when they want to add new things to my class now. Like, new expansions coming out. They're like, we got new priest abilities. I'm like, oh shit, I don't got any more hotkeys, Mr. Blizzard. I've already using shift and controls for alt modifiers.
Chris Metzen comes back. He's like, we need more buttons.
Oh god, here comes Thrall. So do you know there are boats that come by? Have you seen these things?
Yeah, I saw this boat. This is the boat that, like, goes all over the world.
It's like the slowest. It's just, there's no reason to take it. It's just something you do to, I don't know. Like, you would never use this for transport. You'd never be like, all right, let's go to Azure from the plains. We'll take the boat. It is not efficient form of travel in any way.
I guess this boat goes from, like, here to, like, Northrend to Eastern Kingdoms to Pandaria to, like, Kalimdor.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
What?
That's what they said. Yeah, it goes, like, literally all over.
Can we see it as a ghost?
I don't know if we can.
We can.
Oh, yeah,
it's coming right now.
Oh, my God.
Perfect timing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we gotta see if it... I wonder if it'll res us or not, or if we stay ghost.
Is Blizzard gonna ruin our ghost special? You'll have to add the word resurrection in the title.
Yeah, I don't even. Normally, there's the guy here that tells you how long until we'll be here, but we're dead. So. Oh yeah, I have an NPC in this zone.
Oh yeah. Can we see him while dead? We probably can't see him while dead.
I don't know if we can see him while dead, actually. Yeah, I don't think
I'm
we
assuming
can.
you've gone to visit your NPC a few times now.
Oh yeah, numerous times. There's also been people just sending me screenshots being like, look,
Have you
I'm
killed
staying
him?
with
Can
you.
you kill him?
No, you can't kill him. He's just a neutral NPC in a boat. And you talk
He's
to
not
him.
like allied with something you can go to war with and shit.
No. That'd be pretty fun if you could. Well, maybe not. 'Cause probably just be dead a lot. But you talk to him and he's like, you're like, what are you doing out here? And then he says, I'm fishing for treasure because inside pointless things are treasure, which is my pointless top 10 thing I say. And then he says, yeah. And then he says, okay, see ya. It's great.
Wait, he doesn't give a quest.
No, he doesn't give a quest. Honestly, it's more than I expected. I expected just like, I didn't even expect an NPC. I just thought it would be like some rock or some shit that you see, and it's like Crendor. Like, ah, neat.
That
I
would
would
have
have taken
pretty
anything.
sweet too, though.
Yeah, I already had an item. They had the Great Belt of the Crendor in Pandaria, but they added a bunch of like WoW people back then, and so
how
I
do
guess
you
I
get
was
the
one.
belt? Do you have to do like a quest, or is this just a random drop off mobs?
It's like a timeless isle quest thing. I never actually did it. I don't even have my own belt.
What do you mean you didn't do it? You didn't go get your belt?
No, I never did it. I don't know. I guess you can buy it on the black market auction house now if you want, but I still haven't done that. Like, I don't know.
I don't even know
much
where the
rather
black
than-
auction, where that auction house even is. Where is that?
It's, oh god, I don't even. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
in
don't know.
Dalaran, under the sewer.
Oh,
area.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the new Dalaran, not Rat Dalaran.
Yeah, no.
Dalaran 2.
Yeah, Dalaran 2.
Thanks, Blizzard.
Yeah, good old Dalaran 2. It's in there.
Same city twice, different merchants and quests and NPCs. Great.
Yep. But yeah, it was honestly, I was kind of shocked I even got one. Like one day, Wowhead just tweeted out, they're like, Crendor's got an NPC in WoW, and I was like, what? Okay.
They didn't even tell you they were
Yeah,
doing
they didn't
it.
even tell me. It just happened.
That's funny.
And so, I guess it was a thing because then everyone was like, it was almost anxiety inducing because I just kept getting tweets being like, wow, that's great. Or like, this guy got an NPC, but X person didn't. This is pretty dumb. Or like, who? Never heard of him. Who? And
Yeah, I
so
remember
it's-
seeing that tweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just days of that in my feed of people being like, who's this? Never heard of him. Like, oh, thanks. Like, imagine going to like a library where they're like, today we're honoring old man Jenkins for reading many books, and someone in the library is just like, who? I don't know who that is. I don't think he deserves the award because I don't know who he is. Like,
It
oh,
is-
okay.
The internet makes people main characters. Like, social media has made it so that we all just want to tell people our opinions. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I rarely do like any social media stuff, especially these days. I'm just
Oh, yeah. No, I hate it.
putting my opinion on the internet. I don't want to talk on the internet about stuff.
Yeah. No,
Just
if I
talk to
didn't,
people about it.
if I didn't have to use social media for like work, like I would not use it. Not at all. Like it really is just like it floods your brain with just nothing.
I don't really use it that much. Like, mostly just use it for purely work stuff. And a few people that I follow for their projects and stuff, because I like to, they still share all their creative stuff on those platforms.
Yeah. No, I think it's good for things like that. But like a lot of times you just keep following people over the year. It almost used to be like a business card type thing. Like you'd meet people and be like, hey, I'll follow you on the thing. And they're like, okay. And so I swear like half the people I follow are muted. Just because anytime they just start tweeting a bunch of, I'm like muted.
Crendor, to be perfectly honest, you could be muted on mine. I mute effectively everyone.
Oh,
on
that's
my Twitter.
fine. I don't even care.
I didn't think you would. That's why I said that.
Yeah, no, I fully expect like
It's Twitter.
Yeah, like a bunch of people I'll see like they follow me and I'm like, oh, I'm muted on their thing, 100%. Like, I already know it. Like, and I don't even care. I'm like, whatever. Like, like, half my tweets are just me being like, going live. And
it's like a respect follow, but they don't actually want to listen. They're like, I want to show the world that I support you, but I don't actually want to listen and support.
Yeah. Which, listen, I'd take that over just not being followed.
Exactly.
Fine with me.
Exactly. Well, I always follow too because it opens up DMs. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That often I find that for creators, that's pretty good because if you follow each other, then easy DMs. Know you're talking to the right person.
Yeah, if you ever want to like ask about collaborating or something like that. Which, you know, in itself, I always try to not do that because I always feel like I'm being invasive. But
oh yeah, I have no idea how to ask someone for collaborating. I would always just meet them through something else, and then it would be a natural thing. Yeah. Asking random strangers to collaborate? Oh, I'm not that bold.
Well, normally I would have to do it for my fishing show, so I would just be like, hey,
so you got a show that requires it.
Yeah, so I'd be like, hey, you want to come on my fishing show? It's an hour interview and whatever, and then if they don't reply, I'm like, well, I'm not going to respond to them for at least a year.
Oh, you're not like one of those marketing people that messages you once a week?
I see you didn't get my email for the last 5 times, but I'll send it one last time, even though they send it again. Like, my God.
It's some intern that's working for the company that's been given the spiel. Yeah.
Also,
old content dinosaurs.
Boats not moving?
It's because it's, this is a stop, right?
Oh, this is a stop.
Is this a stop? It just doesn't have a dock?
Yeah, I guess we're just stopped at the iceberg. Okay, yeah, there you go, all right.
There's probably NPCs there, we just can't see them.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's like a kite and stuff. Why can't we see NPCs more ghosts?
I don't know. It's like that Sixth Sense kid, but the opposite. Well, actually, that wouldn't make sense. That means we could see NPCs. It's like the opposite of that.
Oh, is it downstairs in the boat?
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's pretty neat. Go out here.
It's interesting, too. Classic also just went to Wrath.
Yeah.
So, what the hell are they going to do with Classic? Do people want to go to Cataclysm next?
Nobody does.
No way. No way, right?
So, people think they're going to go the RuneScape route and just start adding new content to Classic WoW.
No way.
Yeah. Do Classic Plus. Honestly, if they did that, I'd try it.
I think they're just going to go back to Classic again. They should just go back to open up new Classic servers.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would be as popular because everybody's already relived it.
So they got to wait another 10 years before they do that play again?
Yeah.
Re-Classic? Classic 2?
Classic 2. Like,
hey, you playing World of Warcraft Classic 2? Nah, I'm ready for Classic 3.
I mean, I had a good time playing Classic, but then, you know, you hit a point where you're just like, all right, I got everything I wanted out of it, and I'm going to play something else now.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened with Wrath, where, you know, I did that for Wrath, and I was like, well, that was really fun, and then I was like, I guess I'll play Retail when that comes out now, or like maybe I'll do Ulduar when they release that. And then,
oh, you did Classic Wrath too?
Yeah, I did Classic Wrath too. Which I actually tried to do Classic Burning Crusade, but I didn't really get into it that much. I don't know why. I just Burning Crusade didn't really hit as hard for me. Maybe because I didn't really play it as much as Wrath. But I don't know. I still enjoyed doing it. In fact, we started for Wrath. We started on a fresh server, and so they had the 50% experience boost going on.
Ooh.
And that actually made leveling like perfect. Like I leveled a Night Elf Druid from 1 to 70. And with that buff, it was like the perfect amount of experience. Like you could skip quests. You didn't have to do every quest. I was like, oh, I'm going to skip this shitty quest that's terrible. And, you know, it made it a lot more enjoyable.
That's good.
Yeah. So I had fun. And then it made me appreciate coming back to Retail WoW and going like, wow, there's a lot of convenient things in Retail WoW. So, you know.
Yeah. I think Retail WoW is probably in the best place it's been in a while.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll really stay here, though. You think this is going to keep people's attention past Christmas?
I think so. Mm-hmm. It feels like they have enough, like, little things to do to keep people coming back, which I think is what you're what they're supposed to. Like, it doesn't feel like you have to grind it out, because when you have to grind something out, that's when people get bored or don't want to do it.
Well, I mean, the big thing was the dragonflying mechanic, and what's interesting is you're not really going to be using it all that much once you're kind of max level, because that's when you just start kind of queuing for dungeons and queuing for PvP and queuing for things, and you can't use this in any of the dungeons except maybe the one raid where it's just a gimmick for getting from point to point.
Yeah.
You know, so since like, what will we do in the overworld? I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Like just the world quest system, you know, and even with the world quest system, they've changed that so it's not daily now. So there's less of that to do. So,
yeah. It feels like they've tried to make it more casual. Like, you don't have to log on all the time and play constantly and do all that. You can kind of just go at your own pace, which I think is what it should be.
I think so too. I used to be a very hardcore WoW player. I don't think you make games like this for hardcore players. I think what you try to do is you make a casual game, and then once you've satisfied all the casuals, you go, how much budget do we have for hardcore content? And that's how it should only ever be.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hardcore people, like, no matter what, they're going to power through literally everything as fast as they can. Like,
the hardcore people are always buying the game and playing it anyway. They don't matter.
Yeah.
I don't matter as a player if I'm going to buy the game 100% and play it nonstop.
Yeah.
They got me.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, even with Shadowland, like, that was the most boring. That's why I quit Shadowlands, because it was like, it hit the point, like, all right, you got to do Torghast for your legendary whatever, and then you got to do fucking, what was it, the Revenant system, and I was like, dude, I just don't care, and so I just didn't play. Like, I just hit that point. I just went back to farming mounts, because that's what I enjoyed doing. And people were like, oh, you playing Shadowlands? And I'm like, technically, I guess.
Technically. I mean, I have the expansion, yes.
But, like, in this one, I mean, you know, we're about to hit 3 weeks, and I'm still having fun. And usually that's when people start being like, we'll see where you are 3 weeks from now. And I'm like, well, I mean, we're about to hit 3 weeks, and I'm still having fun.
I think this game's strongest suit right now is their talent trees and classes. Because, like, I have that, like, little in the back of my mind, ooh, I want more free time to level up this or try this or maybe go do something like this, see what this is like, you know? And the talent trees are so deep that, like, if you enjoy the alt game in World of Warcraft, it's probably a very, very good expansion for that.
Yeah. No, I've already gotten this warrior to 70 after my warlock. So I have 2 70s, and then I have a 65 druid, a 63 priest, and a 63 death knight. So, and I've just, like, been hopping in and out. Like, I'll just do some blacksmithing on my Death Knight, and then I'll do, like, some crafting on my Druid, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna go do this world quest. I'll do, like, dragon flying world quest and, like, rock climbing world quest, and be like, okay, that was easy. And then I'll, you know, do some, like, story arc in the plains with the centaurs, and I'll be like, all right, that's good enough for today. And, you know, just kind of, it's like you said, like, just hopping around casually and, like, doing my own pace.
Oh, I didn't tell you. Did I, no, I don't think I did. I made a WoW Machinima this year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I made it back in Shadowlands probably about a month or two before the expansion came out. Pepitos 2. So, it's a video about Pepitos, the gnome, who is running World of Warcraft scams. And the funny thing about the video is it's a legitimate World of Warcraft scam. So, like, the video is literally teaching you how you could scam people in World of Warcraft in a completely legal way, okay? Blizzard wouldn't ban you for this way. Because what you do is you write, like, a meme letter and then attach 3 pets that you buy off the auction house for dirt cheap. And then you put a COD, and then you say that the person has to pay for these pets' release or that they'll be euthanized. I found that 1 in 10 people go with the meme and will pay the 555 gold or whatever price you set it at. And so you just sit there mass sending COD letters to druids, always druids because they're very pet sensitive. Hunters too. You can target hunters, but the problem is if you target hunter, you got to do like /who hunter 60, and you get demon hunters, and they don't care about pets. You know? So you got to target the druids mostly.
Man, that's something. I did not think of that. And,
I had an itch for a World of Warcraft machinima, and I was in game with friends, and I was just like, "What about this for a meme idea?" And I did it, and it worked, and I was like, "I'm making a video."
That is pretty fun. I'll have to check that out. But I've wanted to do a WoW Machinima. In fact, I was gonna do Shadowlands in a minute, but I didn't feel inspired to do it. I'll probably do it pretty soon. Just do
Shadowlands in a minute and be like, it's not worth your time. Then end the video.
that would be pretty fitting, honestly. And that's just black screen for the rest of it.
Just go play Dragonflight.
That's or it's just me like playing Shadowlands. And it's like, let me give you a tour, and you're just like, oh god, and then it's like Torghast, and you're like, yeah, just like whatever. I'll figure it out.
Just cover all the activities you did. Shadowland is a fun expansion. In Shadowlands, you can do some great fishing here in Orgrimmar. It's just like, don't go to Shadowlands. Just mention all this WoW content that isn't Shadowlands.
You can have fun in Shadowlands by going to the Barrens. Shit like that.
Pet hunting.
But that's why I've kind of pivoted to doing my top 10 stuff, because I really enjoy like exploring and finding cool things. So, like, I do top 10 tornadoes and top 10 skeletons and top 10 like pointless shit you would find. And so it's fun to go around into the world and find stuff that like maybe nobody notices. And I think a lot of the art team actually enjoys that, because then it puts a highlight on something they worked on that people might not notice.
appreciation.
Yeah. So I'm actually under the impression that the person that put me into the game probably was an art person from like, because they enjoyed my pointless top 10 thing enough they even put the quote into it. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
you showed off their tree stumps just enough.
Yeah, because
to get recognized.
This wasn't like a full-blown like the Blizzard team has decided that you're great. It was like a person put me in, and like one of the community people was like, so there was like some talking and they decided to keep you in because apparently you got added in before they made the rule of no NPCs being put into the game.
Yeah, because they made that rule.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, apparently they put you in before that happened, so they like allowed it. They allowed me to like be grandfathered in essentially. So I was like, so yeah, I might be the last content creating NPC. And I was like, listen, I don't even care if you take me out. Like, I have video evidence I made it into the game now. Like, I'm good. Like, whatever, you know? So, you know, they can change the name.
Video evidence.
Yeah. I mean, they can change now, like, Jim the Pointless or some shit. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I know that used to be me. So that's all I need. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, overall, I've just really enjoyed playing the WoW expansion, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. So it's always fun to play the game that I've enjoyed for years and years and have fun playing it again.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. I really don't have negative things to say about this one, because at this point they feel nitpicky. Yeah. Like I nitpick professions. Professions seem to be something that just seems overly complicated and pointless. Like, I know they can definitely get me better gear and stuff, but I'm just like, this is so much. Like, they've wildly changed it, and they've tried to make it so you can have talent trees and specs, but it's not clear what you're getting. Yeah. So you're like spending like, you either have to again go look and read a guide to figure this out, or you're just gonna put points in the stuff and then later on go, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that at all.
Yeah, and you can't respec it, which is weird.
You can't respec, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of dumb. Like, I feel the same with that. Like, it's cool they tried to redo something new and redo them, but like, it does feel overly complex, and you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It really feels like Carl had an idea, like at the Blizzard meeting, and he's like, just let me do the professions, okay? I got this big ambitious plan, and they're just like, he's been on the team for 10 years. He's never got to design a system. Let's let him do a system. And this is what he came up with, and it's not bad, Carl. It's just, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, man.
Yeah. Like, I feel like they could keep tweaking it and make it better, but right now it feels very kind of, raw and undercooked. Yeah. Like, it needs some more time,
Well, doesn't it also feel like a system where none of this shit matters next expansion? It feels like another one of those systems. So it's like really complicated, and then when the next expansion comes out, I don't know if crafting is going to be like this again. They might just go back to the way crafting was before.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they gotta keep going with this. Like it's just, they've done so much to it now that it just I don't know. It's I'm curious to see what they do because I like there's different like ways you can spec into it and stuff, but like it does feel overly complex for just, they're like you can do this like for example they're like you got deafness and perception and I'm like I don't know what any of these do, and then I read the thing and it's like this speeds up your crafting and I'm like I still don't know what this does. Like what?
Can you get everything in the talent tree? So like if you just get enough,
you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. So the respecking thing doesn't matter too much because eventually you just get enough points for everything.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So I mean that's cool, but still like it's a lot. Like you need more knowledge points and you do all this stuff. And honestly, the one thing professions were good for is I got like a few levels out of just doing profession. So,
oh yeah, I forgot they were XP. I didn't even touch a profession, so I was max level.
Yeah, like the reason I got from 61 to 63 on 2 of my characters was I just power professioned them. That was pretty much it. So I mean, it's cool you can do that to level up.
I saw a few streamers doing a lot of that, like just using they'd like level it up and then ditch it and then level it up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I didn't even know you could do that. Like abandon it and do it again. I guess that would make sense. Huh. Well, I know they actually nerfed the experience you get from it now though, so
that makes sense because people were leveling to max level just to doing just that.
Well, we're a little over an hour now. We're probably good to
yeah, well, thank you for having me once again, Crendor. I'm glad we could keep our little tradition here.
Yeah.
Sorry, October, November is a little bit too busy for me.
Yeah, it's all good. It all came together in the end. And that's what it's all about. The holiday spirit.
The holiday spirit of the Ghostbuster Holiday Resurrection Dragon Special.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
Probably the best way to find me is youtube.rawb.tv. Right now I'm mostly just focused on my YouTube series of doing my old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I'm 4 episodes in. And you can just go to rawb.tv if you want to see me on Twitch, where I stream on Friday and Saturdays. But man, my streams right now are like they're your style streams. They've become non-content. My goal is to always not play the game. I'll be like, all right, we're going to play Pokemon today. And then I do not play Pokemon, but instead just talk for 4 hours and then go, well, we're out of time.
That sounds perfect.
It's become a common theme.
Well, I'll put your link down there as I always do. Well, I think I always do. But
I don't check, so you're good.
It should be down there. All right. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next holiday season.
See you next year, guys.
See you.
Boy.